Hey guys, this is Tara Macklin. I am a wife, a mom, an athletic trainer, and a PCOS thriver, and I'm actually going to talk to you guys today about exercise, which is like my jam as part of an athletic trainer. You know, exercises, rehab, taking care of people. So exercise is also a common subject with PCOS women, and it can kind of put you into circles because if you look at a lot of the information out there on workouts, it's either work on your endurance or work on some HIIT training, which is high intensity interval training, which it's a great way to work out, don't get me wrong. You'll hear people that will suggest yoga, Pilates, only go for a walk. Oh, let's go over here and we're gonna run. And I can tell you, as someone who has run some 5Ks in her time, believe it or not, I know my physique probably doesn't look like I'm a big runner, but this is something that I do actually enjoy to do. And also with the type of PCOS I have, which is an insulin resistant type, makes it also all that much more complicated. However, in the past, I have reduced my weight by running. I've also reduced my weight by just going for walks. I have reduced weight by lifting weights and building up muscle, and I've also bulked up and not lost any weight. So I've experienced it all, and I just kind of want to talk to you a little bit about what some of the information is out there and where some of these things come from. So again, if you're an insulin resistant type of female, one of the things you're going to be dealing with is being on a diet plan that maybe isn't, or a style of eating that maybe isn't conducive to something like CrossFit or high intensity interval training or running distance, because typically when you go and speak to someone who's going to give guidance, they're going to suggest keto or low carb, something along those lines. You're also going to be reducing your sugars because you're going to be on an eating style that's very similar to that of a diabetic. When you're insulin resistant, you are kind of in this category of like pre-diabetes, and it's something that for PCOS women, even once you hit menopause, that doesn't go away. So this is a long-term thing that you're talking about at the end of the day, as far as like watching your food, because you don't want to become a diabetic. That's usually something that most of us prefer not to have in our lives. So anyways, when you're eating in that style, it makes it harder to do those types of exercises, which is why then we talk about things like low impact, low intensity exercise, going for a leisurely bike ride, not like the high intensity cycling that you might see out there. Or, you're going to maybe go on some shorter runs. Maybe you're going to go for a walk. There's a lot of suggestion for Pilates and yoga. Another reason why is women with PCOS, especially if you have androgens that are really high in your body. So this is going to be like all the male hormones that women still have as well, but they're uncharacteristically high, giving you other symptoms. So then those women are also going to put on muscle mass, but then on top of the fact that if you are also insulin resistant type, you're going to put on muscle mass and struggle to lose the extra body fluff or fat, so to speak, that most of us, when we're talking about weight reduction, this is what we're trying to get rid of. We're trying to create muscle mass and get rid of the body fat. And it becomes a double-edged sword, because a lot of times we talk about how when you build muscle mass, you're going to eventually burn body fat. But when you're insulin resistant, it isn't always as simple as that, and it takes a little bit more time and effort. And as humans, we're impatient and we don't have time for that, right? We want our instant gratification. We want to eat our cake, which is a really bad analogy, and eat it too. And so with that said, that tends to be why you're going to see a lot more advice of doing the low impact, leisurely strolls, go for a walk, just get out and move, maybe do the Pilates and do the yoga. And I could tell you, I'm for one, not a fan of yoga, and I've had a family member who keeps telling me I need to do yoga, and I always laugh at her. In a loving way, by all means. Like she wants the best, but I think I'm going to have to embrace some yoga for sure at some point. But I digress, and that'll be a discussion for another time if I actually go that route. Because I have actually seen some friends that have done some like 100-day yoga challenges, and it's been pretty interesting, and I've loved the results. So I'm actually considering putting this into my game plan, so that shall be interesting. But I still love to run. It's my favorite way. That also, if you have PCOS, a lot of us tend to have a lot more emotional triggers. We tend to struggle more with depression, anxiety, things like that. It just kind of comes with the territory. Unfortunately, that's one of the symptoms, is the emotional stuff is like at a higher threshold. So going and running for me is also just a stress reliever for me, and I really enjoy that. So what I've kind of had to do over time is when I'm training for something like a 5K that I loved it. It was a lot of fun to go run it, and I actually ran it. It says virtual 5K, but it wasn't actually virtual. Like, I actually had to run and then turn in the information. So but with that said, it was not my best 5K by any means, but I ran it all the same. But I then, after getting done with the 5K, I've actually adjusted my eating style back to what I was doing before, because I noticed the weight was not going down with the activity. I was actually needing to eat more carbs to get through the running the 5K, to have the energy to be able to stick with it. So I've now since adjusted back, and I'm actually getting back on track with what I was doing before I started training for the 5K. Still getting in some running. I can probably run up to about 2 miles with the eating style that I typically partake in, and it seems to just work best for me. So I still feel like at the end of the day, do the exercises that make you feel good. Do you love to work up a sweat and do more things and lift weights? Like, maybe that's your jam. Go do that thing. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe you just need to make some modifications and adjustments to it. Sit down with some good professionals that can kind of help you with that, especially ones that may understand your condition. And if you don't understand what type of PCOS is, I do think that is a big key to the puzzle. If you understand your PCOS a little bit more, you can make some more informed decisions of what type of not only eating style that's best for you, but also what type of workouts are going to work for your body best. So while I gave you kind of a wishy-washy answer, I still feel like this does give you some good information to kind of make some decisions. But I know for me it can be a little complicated, but you can still do the things that you absolutely enjoy doing. If you guys found this information helpful, go ahead and feel free to share it with anyone else that you might think that this could help them out. Also, if you're enjoying the content, click subscribe, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Again, I'm an athletic trainer, not a personal trainer, so this is like dealing with injuries and things like that in sports or in the industrial setting. But again, we're working with athletes, so understanding workouts and what all goes into that and the things that you need for training is a big scope of my profession. So keep that in mind. I'm not here to write out like a personal trainer or strength and conditioning coach, but I can definitely give you advice and get you along to the right people to help write those things out for you if you so need that. So anyways, like I said, if you found this information helpful, please feel free to do what you wish with it, but most of all, don't forget to hit subscribe so that way you guys can keep getting the content as it rolls in, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon.